The restaurant was louder than usual that rainy evening. Glasses clinking, forks tapping, conversations turning into a soft, elegant hum. The place glowed a warm gold, the kind of lighting that made everything feel slightly magical. Still, every table had been taken, every chair occupied by polished professionals unwinding after a long day. Ava Morgan hovered near the entrance, clutching her tote bag close. Her curls framed her face like a dark halo, and her warm brown eyes scanned the room with growing frustration. She'd been looking forward to tonight, a quiet meal to celebrate her scholarship notification, but she hadn't expected the city's most popular midtown restaurant to be fully booked. She exhaled, calm but visibly tired. Then she saw it, a single table, tucked near the tall windows overlooking the rain-striped street, occupied by only one man. A man who looked like he'd stepped right out of a lifestyle magazine. Broad shoulders, strong jaw, elegant wristwatch, and a gaze distant enough to suggest his mind was miles away. She hesitated. Approaching strangers wasn't her style. But tonight wasn't normal. Before she could overthink it, her feet moved. She paused beside the table, cleared her throat softly, and then asked, "Hi, can I share this table?" The man looked up sharply, as if woken from deep thought. And just like that, his breath caught. Ava Morgan had no idea, but she had just spoken to Julian Blackwell, billionaire CEO of Blackwell Tech, the man whose picture frequently graced business magazines, the man who hated public attention, the man whose world had grown cold with boardrooms, contracts, and obligations. But right now, that world tilted. Julian stared, stunned, at the beautiful girl standing before him. The poised posture, the soft curls, the elegant yet simple dress, the gentle confidence in her voice. She was refreshing. "Please," he said quickly, gesturing to the chair opposite him. "Of course. Sit." Ava smiled, a bright, warm, sunshine kind of smile, and the billionaire felt something he hadn't in years. Heat. Ava placed her bag down and slid into the seat, lifting the menu. "Thank you. I didn't want to leave without at least trying their food. Their tiramisu is kind of famous." Julian blinked. Someone, finally, speaking like a normal human. "No one should miss the tiramisu," he said, relaxing slightly. Ava laughed, a soft musical sound that made his pulse thrum. Julian studied her discreetly. No designer bag. No exaggerated makeup. No performed politeness. Just authenticity. "So," she said, folding her hands. "Are you waiting for someone?" "No. A quiet dinner." "Trying to be." She raised an eyebrow, amused. "Did I ruin that?" Julian gave a small, genuine smile, the kind that felt unfamiliar on his own lips. "No. I think you improved it." Ava blinked, cheeks warming. Compliments, real ones, were rare. And his tone, deep, sincere, sent warmth spiraling through her chest. The waiter arrived, menus were read, and food ordered. When he left, Ava looked at Julian again, noticing his expensive watch, the subtle stitch work of his tailored suit, the air of someone who carried too much weight, and yet hid it flawlessly. "So what do you do?" she asked. He watched her carefully. Most people asked with hunger in their eyes. Ava asked with curiosity. "I run a company," he said simply. "Oh. What kind?" "Technology. Software. Infrastructure." "Wow," she said, impressed but not dazzled. "That sounds intense. No wonder you look like you haven't slept since the Industrial Revolution." Julian choked on his water. "Excuse me." She bit her lip. "Sorry. I'm blunt when I'm nervous." And he loved it. Loved that she said what she felt. No filters. No calculated flattery. "I'll have you know," he said, voice teasing, "I sleep, occasionally." "Oh good," she shot back. "I was about to recommend a good therapist." Julian burst into laughter, loud enough that two nearby tables turned. He didn't care. He needed this. Needed her energy, her warmth, her boldness. Who was she? "So what about you?" Julian asked once he recovered. "How was your day?" Ava's expression softened into something proud and vulnerable. "I got a scholarship today," she said quietly. "Full ride. graphic design and marketing. For the first time that evening, Julian saw a flicker of insecurity. I didn't grow up with a lot, she admitted. But I've worked hard. Really hard. And today felt like, maybe things are finally opening up. Julian felt something twist in his chest. Admiration. Deep, sincere admiration. That's incredible, he said. You should be proud. I am, she whispered. But sometimes it feels like I'm celebrating alone. He leaned forward, voice low. You're not tonight. Ava's lips parted slightly. Her pulse fluttered. Something about him, the sincerity, the grounding calm, the attention, felt strangely comforting. The food arrived, breaking the moment, but their connection only grew. They talked. And talked. And talked. About books. About dreams. About the pressure of expectations. About the beauty of small victories. Julian forgot his emails. Forgot the board meeting tomorrow. Forgot the headlines, the money, the inherited empire. Ava made him feel human. And Ava. She saw kindness under his polished exterior. Humor under his seriousness. A softness hidden under years of corporate armor. At one point, the rain slowed, and the restaurant grew quieter. Ava leaned her elbow on the table. You know, she said thoughtfully, you're different. Oh, he murmured. You listen. It shouldn't have hit him so hard. But it did. So do you, he replied. Most people listen to reply, she said. You listen to understand. Julian swallowed. Ava Morgan was becoming dangerous. Quietly, beautifully dangerous to his controlled life. Just when Julian felt blissfully anonymous, two suited men approached the table, eyes wide. Mr. Blackwell, one of them whispered. Sorry to interrupt, your car is ready. Ava blinked. Turned. Then looked at Julian very slowly. Blackwell, she repeated. As in Blackwell Tech. He winced. He had been caught. Her eyes widened with realization. You're, she stopped. Her voice dropped. You're that Julian Blackwell. He exhaled. I was hoping to make it through one dinner without that coming up. Ava stared, stunned. The billionaire who made headlines weekly. The billionaire rumored to be heartless in business. The billionaire women chased endlessly. But he didn't look arrogant. He looked almost worried. You okay? She asked gently. I didn't want you to treat me differently, he admitted. I liked being normal with you. Ava's chest softened. I'm still talking to the same man, she said. The one who choked on his water because I said he needed sleep. Julian laughed, relief melting his tension. She was real. And she wasn't leaving. When they finished dinner, Julian stood. May I walk you home? Ava hesitated. It's raining. It's just water. And you're a billionaire. I promise I won't melt. Ava bit her lip, then nodded. They stepped outside, the soft drizzle turning the city lights into blurry halos. Julian walked beside her, hands in pockets, stealing glances like a teenager. You know, Ava said, this is the nicest dinner I've had in years. Same, he admitted. She scoffed. You probably eat at places fancier than this every day. Not with someone who makes me forget everything. Ava stopped walking. The rain kissed her curls. The street glowed gold. Julian, she whispered. He stepped closer, slow enough for her to step back if she wished. She didn't. You talk to me like you see me, he said quietly. Not the money. Not the name. Just me. Ava's heart thudded. She lifted her chin. That's because I like what I see. His breath hitched. And Julian Blackwell, powerful, feared, wealthy, felt something profoundly simple and overwhelmingly real. He was falling. They reached her apartment building, a modest, cozy place with plants near the entrance and warm hallway lights. Ava turned to him, unsure. I had a really good time, she said softly. Can I see you again? He asked quickly. Her brows lifted. You want that? Yes, he said firmly. More than I expected. Ava hesitated, but not because she didn't want him. Because the world he came from and the world she lived in were miles apart. I'm not like the women you're probably used to, she said gently. Good, Julian said. They're exhausting. Ava tried not to laugh. I don't want to be someone's charity case, she admitted. I don't want to be someone they pick up because it looks good. Julian reached out slowly, brushing a raindrop from her cheek with gentle fingers. Ava, you asked me to share a table. You didn't want anything from me. You don't even care who I am in public. His voice deepened, more earnest than anything he'd said all night. You make me feel more alive than I've felt in years. Ava's breath caught. And I want to know you, he finished softly. The real you. Her chest tightened. Her heart surrendered. Okay, she whispered. Julian exhaled, relief flooding his eyes. Tomorrow, he asked. Tomorrow, she said with a small smile. He stepped back as she reached the door. Good night, Julian. Good night, Ava. She disappeared inside, her heart pounding. Julian stood in the rain, staring at the doorway long after she was gone, letting the night soak into him. And the billionaire who never believed in fate found himself believing in the girl who simply asked, "Can I share this table?" Ava lay on her bed later, staring at the ceiling, smiling like she'd discovered a secret. Julian Blackwell, the man the world idolized, had walked her home in the rain, laughed with her, listened to her, and looked at her like she was the most fascinating thing in the city. Not once did she feel small. Not once did she feel judged. Just seen. And Julian. He sat in the back of his car, staring out the window at the rain, replaying her smile, her voice, the bold honesty in her eyes. He didn't know where this would lead. But he knew one thing. He wanted more. More dinners. More laughter. More unfiltered conversations. More Ava. For the first time in years, the billionaire felt something with no calculation, no agenda, no strategy. Hope. Not hope for success. Not hope for profit. But hope for something human. Something tender. Something real. The rain finally stopped, leaving the city washed and gleaming. Ava slept with her phone in her hand, waiting for tomorrow. Julian stayed awake longer than usual, scrolling through his calendar, cancelling meetings for the following evening. Ava came first. He wasn't going to lose the girl who had walked into his world and made it feel alive again. The girl who didn't care who he was. Only who he was becoming with her. And tomorrow. Tomorrow was the start of something beautiful. Something neither of them expected. Something that began with 6 simple words. Can I share this table? And ended with 2 hearts learning to beat for each other.